we got the purpose of the meeting is to discuss the budget, and I think Patsy sent out the information. Everybody has a copy of that. I think typically what we've done in the past is we've asked Tony to kind of step us through the budget line items. Maybe not all the line items per se, but ones that where there was a significant change. If you could share some insight that went into those.
Sure. As I've done the last few years, I've kept the wireless or all of the surcharge item, the line item, the same at $2.4 million. As we've discussed in the past, that's going to fluctuate. And just to be on the safe side, that's kind of at the level we've kept it. So the revenues are exactly the same as they have been the last couple of years. As you move on down into the expenses, if you recall, we have a budget account balance line. In years past, we've used contingency, capital improvements, several different things to account for that. But we settled on this a couple of years ago. This is just the difference between our expected expenses and our budgeted revenue. This year, it's considerably higher at $969,222. That'll give us some leeway if we need to start working on some of the capital improvements that we've kind of had in the background over the years. Salaries as provided by county administration. As you're aware, we only have at this time just the one ETSB employee, and a partial of the director's salary goes into that as well. So those are just normal changes for the year. The next line item is contract services. That's our payment to MetCom. We are in pretty good shape this year across the board. All three entities to MetCom does have a reduction in what they're going to be charged for payment. And this is due to the expenses on the MetCom side being a little bit less. And that budget is still in process in the county system. Our next step is to meet with the Oversight Committee, the Justice Committee, to discuss that. I've already met with county administration, and everything looks pretty good there. So we'll see how the board reacts, both the committee and at the full board level, before we get an actual final number on that. Insurance, it's showing up this year only because I estimated too low last year. So that's right along the correct lines for what we can expect to be charged for insurance in 2021. Next line item is a new line item for vehicle maintenance repair. Brandon has requested some safety lightings for the ETSB vehicle. We currently have nothing on that car, so when he's out doing measurements, he would feel a little bit safer if we've got some flashing lights, orange flashing lights on there. And we've got that estimated at $1,000 to get that done for him. And that'll be a one-time fee this year. The e-dispatch software is the next line item. We had another, and I can't recall what off the top of my head, we had a one-time fee. Oh, it was for GIS licensing last year. So that's why there's a reduction on that line item. The cost for the e-dispatch software hasn't changed. So that's why it's gone down, because of that GIS licensing. The next line item is non-contractual services. No change there. We've got our typical increase for administrative surcharge, the next line item. And land lease is slightly down because we did do a renegotiation with the vendor for the high-rise towers. And on top of that, I had estimated a little high last year on one of the tower sites that I thought was going to go up, and it did not. So that's why that price is down 7%. Telephone service is our next line item. That's down dramatically, and that is due to the switching to InDigital, dropping all of our Frontier services, and making all of those changes. It actually has Saved us quite a bit of money. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. There was also some savings on the Metcom side as well because of the changes that we made in dropping Frontier. Just a side note, we're still in the process of getting those changes done, and things are moving along as we expect. The next line item is we've got a lease purchase improvements, and really it's going in that line item because I'm not really sure where the auditor is going to put it once we make those purchases, but that's for additional electronic door access. As you recall, the year before we did start adding those to our system, and we eventually want to get every door in the building on that system. So we're going to be adding a few more doors next year. And then the next line item is at zero. So we've got a complete decline in that. Was the console furniture that we are purchasing this year. So there's nothing there. One thing that's not on the copy that I sent you, I don't believe, I guess maybe it is, where I give you the decrease without the budget balance on our expenses. We're down 19% on expenses for 21 as opposed to 20. So overall, I think that's a good thing. Keeping the costs down while we're still taking that revenue and putting it away in case we've got any major changes coming down the road, anything that might be unexpected or a surprise. We can always dip into that fund if we need to. That's it.
Tony Lee, question on
Yeah.
on repair and maintenance of the building and grounds. Is there no need for anything there?
No, and we had put that in there for I guess it was just last year that we did or this year that we're doing. Oh, this year we were adding more doors for the access system. We were also adding an additional or replacing the camera system. So that's
Okay.
why there's nothing there for next year. We're doing the camera system and additional doors this year. And that's where I had those doors budgeted in this year's budget as well.
Okay.
Thanks, Lee. Any other questions for Tony? John, anything from your perspective? Tony, if I could just ask just two things just for my awareness. Oops, let me go wrong. From a county perspective, we're paying for the enhancement to Brandon's vehicle. Are the other expenses for that vehicle paid for outside of our budget then?
If you recall a few years ago, I guess it's been several years ago, we took the expenses for the vehicles and moved them over to the Metcom budget.
Okay.
And they're just considered part of the big payment that ETSB pays. At the end of the year, when I provide a report to the state, I break that down and say, out of for example, the $1,079,000 that is budgeted for this year, I will put in there X number of dollars for the two ETSB vehicles, fuel and repairs.
Got it. Okay, that's helpful. Thank you. In my advanced stage, it's coming back to me that you mentioned that some time ago, but I had forgotten. So I appreciate that reminder. And then the other question on the land lease, you mentioned that we were dropping the Frontier lines. Do we have any relationship with Frontier then after as we move forward?
The only thing that we will still have Frontier is we will have a couple of circuits to, I think we'll have a circuit to 3 towers that we need to eventually move off into another carrier. But that will be our only relationship with Frontier other than, customers within the county. But us directly, that'll be it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. That was the only questions I had. Tony, what else do you need from us at this time to review the budget? Do we need to take a vote on it as a committee?
Yeah, we just need the committee to make a motion, second it, and approve it for recommendation to the full board for approval. We'll be meeting on the 22nd.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget as presented.
We have a motion
Lee, second.
and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
same sign.
Lee. Yep.
Motion carries. I think that's what we needed that's what we had on the agenda. Let me jump over there. I don't have any old business or new business. So I wasn't told of any old news business or new business. Let me ask if there's any comments. Hearing none, is it time to ask for a motion to adjourn?
I think you can just adjourn it. I don't necessarily think you need a motion to adjourn. Some do, some don't, but
Okay.
your choice.
Unless Lee or Sheriff, is there anything else that you wanted to mention or talk about prior to our meeting next week?
I have one question for Tony. Are we still in line for our surcharge from the state? Are they reneging on anything?
No, we are right now, knock on wood, we're receiving them as we should. We're still, I think, 4 months behind, as we always have been. But there's been no delays at this point. Nothing has been swept that we're aware of so far. Everything's working as it should at this point anyway.
Okay, because I worry about the broom taking some of our money. So, okay.
All right. Well, I think we are adjourned. Thanks, everybody. And we will see you all next week. Tony, are we in person or are we doing virtual meeting?
It'll be another virtual meeting. We'll have the stuff sent out later this week. We're at bare minimum for a quorum. Everybody that said they were going to be here, I had 5 that were going to be here. So if any one of those is unable to attend the meeting, we will not have a quorum. And Glenn, you will be, as the vice, you will be chairing that meeting as well. The chair is on vacation. Unless something changes, if their vacation gets canceled or whatever. But as it stands, we're good right now.
Okay.
For a virtual meeting.
For those that are attending, we'll see you all next week then. Thanks, everybody. Have a good Monday.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.